I get asked all the time whether my farm is organically certified. The answer is no, and there's usually 3 reasons that I will give for why that is. It's a conversation that's usually happening at the farmer's market, right? And the first reason I usually give is that organic certification is costly. And it's not just costly once, it's costly every year because you have to pay into the system year after year to maintain your organic certification. The second reason I give has to do with the structure of my farm, right? We're located at 4 different places throughout the city. That's 4 different sets of neighbors and landowners. And so there's always a lot of moving parts, and that would make it a real logistical nightmare to try to get the farm certified and to maintain that certification. And then if I have time, I might give a third reason, which is a little bit more esoteric, and that's just that the organic certification system really is a weak and watered down version of what J.I. Rodale envisioned when he started preaching these principles of nutrition and sustainability in our food system some 3/4 of a century ago. You know, the truth is that organic certification is kind of just a marketing tool and doesn't really say much about how the produce is grown or the principles that guide those operations. So today I'd like to have a little bit of a thought experiment about how we think about conventional and organic agriculture. Conventional growers are permitted because there's no certification required to use a near infinite list of chemicals and methods in the growing of their products. And what we know about worldwide consequences of some of those methods seems to keep evolving, right? There are aquatic dead zones in ecosystems, massacres of pollinator species, depletion of aquifers. All of those things are direct results of bad agricultural practices. And with no certifying body, conventional operations have little oversight as to how much of a dangerous chemical they want to use. And if the result is weightier produce or more abundant fruits and vegetables, then it might make sense to cut corners or push the envelope. And producers often go organic because they want to operate a farm which has a more equitable and sustainable relationship with the environment. They want to be providing their customers with a product that they can be confident is safe and wholesome, that consumers can trust, right? And so they're far less likely to cause environmental damage with the methods that they're allowed to use, yet we require them to spend thousands every year if they want to call their products organic. So what I'm suggesting is that perhaps the conventional growers should be the ones who need to be certified so that we can be sure they're using chemicals safely. We shouldn't require growers who want to use regenerative practices and organic practices to bear this burden. These growers have the potential to sequester carbon and purify water and enhance ecosystem diversity simply by doing things the right way. So maybe public funds should be used to pay operations to guard our public trust in that way. There's one other thing that I'll mention on this topic. Every consumer should think hard about what their value system is when it comes to buying food. Have a hierarchy in mind when you go to the grocery store as to where local ranks in relation to organic, in relation to fair trade, and so on. For example, for me, local comes above organic, because I believe in the localization of our economies, and I really hate the burning of fossil fuels in order to move food across the country that could be grown locally. But everybody's value system is going to be different, but you should have one that you've thought about and that makes sense for you. And think about who should be required to carry a certification to sell their agricultural products.